welcome once again to MQ. I am Brian, the Motley Mix Merchant. Thank you very much for dropping by. If it's the first time you've been here, I am a Canadian eBay reseller. I pick up 98% of all my items at live auctions or online auctions, and then I turn them around and flip them for a little bit of profit on eBay. And I'm having tons of fun doing it, so I'm chronicling it all right here on YouTube so people can follow along with my successes and my failures and maybe learn something along with me while I go through this amazing journey. And I'm glad I'm continuing on with the journey because it is just carrying on from March. March was my busiest month since I started. And now at the beginning of April, even through all these crazy times that the world is going through right now, I am having great sales. And I think it's showing up for a lot of online sellers because people are stuck at home. They've got nothing else to do. So they're online, they're browsing, they're buying. And I am shipping stuff all over the United States and actually a couple of shippings to Canada in the last couple of weeks as well. So my items are selling, and I don't sell the kind of thing you would think would sell in this time frame. I don't have puzzles, I don't have games, I don't do video games, that kind of thing. I've got ceramics and porcelains and figurines and knickknacks and things to finish off collections and that kind of stuff. So it's still selling. And I think part of the success that I've had is the fact that my stuff isn't really expensive, except for maybe a handful, maybe half a dozen items that are pricey. And I'll say pricey is over $60 US. The other 335 items in my store right now are $20 to $25 to $30 max. So, I don't sell expensive stuff. Someone feels like they're getting something for a good price and they're getting an item that they desire. And there's no worries. I haven't had any returns. I know a lot of people on YouTube are talking about getting tons of returns right now because people are figuring out they need the money. Well, it's kind of $20 hopefully or $25 isn't going to make or break somebody even during these times. So fingers crossed. So far, no returns for autumn night is not as described and that kind of thing, which is sometimes bogus anyhow. But yeah, so carrying on, and it's just going great, and I'm still trying to pick up items where I can. I went out this afternoon and picked up off of Facebook Marketplace 5 porcelain pieces, which I will show you in the next video because they're still wrapped up in bubble wrap. The lady was nice enough to wrap them up in bubble wrap for me as I picked them up on her front porch and just left an envelope of money in her mailbox. And that is money that I actually received 2 days ago when I sold a box of decorating flowers. You would use them for flower decorating. They're called everlasting flowers or straw flowers. I think that's a couple of the names for them. I had 3 boxes full of loose ones and other ones that were on sticks. So I sold them on Facebook Marketplace for $15, and I turned around and picked up 5 sellable items for myself for $15. So I should turn my 15 into 75 to 100, but I'll go through that next video when I unwrap and unload the stuff that's in that box and take a closer look at it. Today, going to take a look at what has sold in the past week. I've sold 7 items since I spoke with you last, and actually that is up until about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Since 4 o'clock this afternoon, I've sold 2 more items, but I'm not going to put them in the episode right now because they haven't been shipped, and I just want to make sure everything's fine with them before I say that I have officially sold them. So they'll be in the sold video. And I'm going to show you 4 things that I've picked out of my last vase haul from the online auction that I was able to complete last week, and update you about one thing that I spoke about in my last episode. So let's begin with what sold on eBay this past week. And it's been a really good week. Great sales prices, great average profit on all these items. And I'm going to start off with a very heavy one. I'm glad I charged a lot for the shipping for it. It is this Mercato pasta machine. It is a pasta maker, hand crank pasta maker. It also had one attachment to make fusilli, I think, or however you say it. I think it's fusilli. So it had a couple of attachments and and it was in great shape. I mean, it probably got used twice in its lifetime. It was so clean. It had the crank. It had the clasp so that you could attach it to the side of the table. And it was in great shape. And I got the full asking price for that one, $50. Then I charged $20 for the shipping, $20 US, and it actually cost me $22 Canadian. So that's about perfect when you take into account the shipping supplies and that kind of thing. That was exactly what it cost me to ship that. So a good $50 sale price on that pasta making machine, which cost me 75 cents. That was on one of the tables I purchased back in last November when I first started going to the one auction house here in my really nearby city. Something I just showed you in the last video has already sold. Actually, it sold about 18 hours after I listed them. It was this beautiful pair of Huronia bud vases, Canadian clay art studio pottery, and the matching pair. They're beautiful fire red drip glaze. They sold for $25 on a best offer. I had $29.99 on them, but they offered me $25, and I shipped them. Absolutely going to take that kind of a sale and that kind of an offer. Shipped them off to California. I got $10 for the shipping. Didn't quite cover it, but you know, that's a beautiful, beautiful couple of vases that are on their way to California, which is never a big surprise these days. Also sold another set of Corningware casserole dishes. I had sold the first set. I had two sets that I picked up at that one auction back in November. And the one set sold and I shipped it, and one of the pieces broke, and I got lucky because the buyer found the exact same piece from that set from another buyer, and I just paid him back what he had to pay to finish off the set. So that was perfect. But this set, again, beautiful set. I think there was 3 casserole dishes and 1 lid. Sold for $24 with $15 towards the shipping, and it was a little heavier, but $15 US pretty much covered the shipping for me. So another good sale, and another 3 pieces that probably cost me a total of about $1.50. So, you know, my average profit on these items, and I'll say it as I always do, I have so little into these because of my great purchasing power at auctions that they can sit forever, and the profit it's almost all profit. My average cost per item is under $1 out of 345 items on my store. My average price is under $1 as far as cost goes. So anything, almost anything is profit. And that's great. Oh, another item that I just picked up recently at probably the last thing I got at Goodwill before they shut down for the pandemic. It was 4 of these Groovy Girls dolls. They're from the 1980s, 80s or 90s, I think. No, not quite that old. 2000s, I think. 2003, something like that. I can't remember. But they're a little bit older, but they're still collectible, and people like them, especially if it's got a certain name attached to one of them. But I sold all 4 of them for $22 plus $6 for the shipping, and it was 13 ounces to ship it off again to California today. So that was a good buy. Those ones cost me $8 total though, Canadian, so that's about $6 US right now. So the 22 US that I got for them, good $15 plus profit on the 4 Groovy Girls dolls. Another item I just recently, actually I looked through these, everything that I sold this past week is within 2 months of being in my store. It's all new stuff that I've only received in the last 2 to 3 months. So yeah, the newer stuff sold this week. Last week it was all the stuff that's been in my store for 7 months. This week it's everything that's 3 months or sooner. So this is the Playboy Ice Bucket. If you remember, I just showed you this from my auction haul from, I think it was one of my online auction hauls. It was the last online auction haul that I got, and picked it up along with a couple other items, and then the big lot of vases was also from that same online auction. So yeah, the Playboy Ice Bucket sold for $25 plus $6 towards the shipping. I should have probably could have would have charged a little more for the shipping on that one, because I forgot how big the box was. It was in the original box, and the box itself was 10 by 10 by 10. So I barely had any room around it to keep myself under the 12 by 12 by 12 guidelines. I was able to do it though, because it didn't take a lot of padding. I padded up the inside of the box so that the ice bucket didn't move around or jiggle around, and then I padded with packing paper all the way around the outside of the box, and was able to get it just under the guidelines, and so it didn't cost me too much. So what's that, $31 US? That works out to about $42 Canadian right now. Cost me about $20 Canadian to ship. So still $20 profit on the ice bucket, which cost me $2 to buy it online auction. So that was great. Cute little thing here. One of those little throwaway items, but throwaway items add up throughout the year. If you sell 50 of these, you've made an extra $500. It's a It was a beautiful 8 by 11 wooden frame. They had asked for a best offer on that, and I said I counter offered a little bit higher because I wanted to make sure I covered the shipping cost. But it was $11 with $10 towards the shipping, so almost the same cost for shipping as the item ended up selling for. But yeah, it was great. It went off to, and it wasn't too far. When I saw where they were from, I want to say New York City, that area. It didn't cost a lot to ship, so even if I only made a few bucks on it, that was a throwaway in the bottom of a box that I got at auction. So yeah, it was just, you're very welcome for taking something off my hands. There you go. Last but not least, I think I sold this last week, but I didn't tell you about it in the last video as I was just running through a few things. But this is something that a lot of people are saying is selling well right now because people are at home and they're trying to find things to do. They're doing a lot of crafting. And so I sold this roll of piping cord. You use it for creating piping around all kinds of fabrics and garments that you're making at home, drapes and that kind of thing as well. So yeah, sold it for $25 with free shipping. It was very light. Maybe cost me $10 to ship, $10 Canadian. So 25 US for something that again was in a box of crafts materials that I got for $2 at auction. So this probably cost me 50 cents. So you know, I'll take that kind of profit, $10 to $15 on every item. If I can do that and keep up with my one or more items sold per day, that's why I do this. And this is a part-time side gig. $300 to $400 a month is exactly what I could use right now to help pay for bills and have a little bit of living on the side. Although right now, as I'm unemployed from my full-time job and collecting benefits from the Canadian government, as almost 1 million plus people are right now, apparently. You know, it's great to have this little bit of extra coming in to supplement the government income, the unemployment insurance income that I've got coming in, because who knows how long it's going to last. Let's hope not too long, but June. I say June. But don't hold me to that. All right, so that's what sold in the past week. Again, good profit margin on all of them. A couple of really good sales there. The pasta machine for $50 when I know it cost me less than $1 on that table of stuff that I got at one of the auctions here just before Christmas. I didn't get it listed probably till February because it was sitting around and I had to clean it up and that kind of thing. So sold fairly quickly at full asking price, so I was happy with that. So I've got a few things to show you. 3 things that I'm going to show you from cleaning out and getting things ready from the last online auction haul, which was from my local auctioneers in Niagara Falls. But first, I want to show you this. And I talked about this in my last video. It is this beautiful perfume bottle. It is definitely a perfume bottle. Been looking up and doing lots of research since the last video, and all of them are labeled as perfume bottles. And that is what this is. It's a beautiful perfume bottle, and it is from France. I've narrowed it down. I mean, I've looked so far and wide on the interweb for this exact type of decanter and bottle, and nothing that matches exactly. There was one that was a close design with a little bit of a different painting on the front, but there's a bunch of them that are the same design. That 95%, easily 95% of all these types of perfume bottles are French. There was one that somebody was listing, or so I think it's just listed, it's not even sold, listed as being Czechoslovakian, and there was one that was listed as being Bristol glass from England. So I'm going to go with the majority on this one and say that this is from France. And if you remember, if you were here for the last video, if not, I have 2 of these, and I have a compote as well, lidded compote that matches the exact same design. I'm going to list them as a set, both perfume bottles and the compote, and I'm going to put a price tag on them of $189.99. That's going to be my starting price. I'll see what kind of traction it gets, see if there's any watchers, see if there's any offers. I always put best offer on anything over $25, and I'm definitely going to put best offer on something this big. I'm also going to charge $30 for shipping because they are glass. They are not porcelain. They are glass. And so I will, even if it was porcelain, it'd be delicate, but This is glass, so I'm going to be putting a very nice chunk towards the shipping so I can make sure that they're well protected whenever I do sell them and ship them. But I just want to let you know, in case you're a subscriber, that they is definitely, in my mind anyhow, that's French. And so I'm going to be advertising it and listing it as a French perfume bottle set with a matching compote. So speaking of subscribers, if you would like to follow along on this entire journey with me here on the Motley Mix Merchant and M Cubed, you can subscribe right down below and then hit the bell to be notified every time a new episode is uploaded. I would love to have you along for the journey so you can see my successes and my failures. I haven't had a lot of failures lately. Fingers crossed that I don't jinx myself. Knock on hairy wood there. It's been a really, really good 60 days plus. And other than maybe undercharging for shipping once or twice, things are going really, really well right now. And part of it is I'm attributing it to the fact that I am listing 2 or 3 items every single day. Every single day. And I have had sales almost every single day, except for maybe 3 days in the past 30 days. I have had a sale every day. So that is definitely working for me, and I'm just going to keep it up as long as I have the product to do it. And right now I think I have at least 10 days worth of product that I need to go through, and I will be listing my 2 or 3 per day, sometimes more, depending if I get on a roll, especially if it's the same type of item. I listed some DVDs last week, and I listed like 5 or 6 of them because one right after the other sells similar and that kind of thing. So, all right, now a few things from the hauls recently. These are all from, I think these are all from my latest online auction from my auction house, RT Auctions in Niagara Falls. The last one they had before they ended up having to shut down because the Ontario Auctioneers Association recommended all their members to shut everything down, even the online auctions, because of what's going on with the pandemic. So I got these in the last auction haul, and they're nice. And again, average price for me on all the items over those 2 auctions works out to about $1.10, $1.10 Canadian, which is about 75 cents US right now for everything that I purchased at the online auction a week and a half ago now. So here's 4 more of the items. And you know what? You look at this and you think, that's nothing special. It's a flower frog. Those of you who don't know what that is, there's the holes in the top, and you use that to make your flower bouquets. But this one has got a footed vase underneath it. You can see the flower frog comes out. You've got the vase on the bottom. There's got etching on the side. I believe that looks like, I haven't researched this at all, but in remembering what I've seen before, that is Princess House. I want to say that's a Princess House design. That's the design that they put on a lot of their stuff, with the etched flower with the crisscross crosshatch in the middle. So you can see the crosshatch a little better in the middle of the flower. So I think it's Princess House, but beautiful little flower frog. But these alone sell for $15 on average. Put it together with a nice little glass footed vase like that, I should be able to get $25 to $30 for this little combination here. So that was nice little thing to find inside a box. I just threw everything in the box from one lot, which was about 10 items. I threw it all in the box without even looking at it, and that's one of the things that was in there, so that was great. Again, that lot probably cost me $4 in the auction. In the same box was this cute little hurricane lamp style candle holder. This is brass. It is by Coppercraft out of Topeka, Kansas. American-made brassware. So it is a brass base. I think this is the brass part. I think that's plastic. I'll have to look into this further. I don't know if the bottom is brass too. Can't tell by the sound. I'll check by a magnet later on. But very cute. Again, costing me $1, 75 cents US. These sell in the $20 to $25 range. So I'll take that return all the time. If I can turn $1 into $20, $25 every single time, then I'm doing well. And I'll keep doing that every day. All day, every day, any day, as I say. What's next? Let's look at this. This big thing. What does this remind you of? Besides the 90s. And that is that there is a date on the bottom. Susie Lee and Joseph Panacci, I think, 1991. I think that's a 9. This is not old enough to be 70s. So 1991 is when this was given as a gift or made by those two. But pretty cool. I mean, that's really, really cool with the colors and the way it's done. It's got a little bit of ribbing here on the bottom. But if this was a homemade project, they did a really good job. If this was homemade, I'm not sure it was, but I'll take a closer look. I mean, the pot itself is probably not homemade or handmade, but even the coloring, that's really, really cool. I have not done much research on this. I'm thinking $30-ish, $25 to $30, because it's big. It's a good 10 inches tall, at least, probably 8 inches wide, 7 to 8 inches wide. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. That's a really cool vase, and I don't think made to be with the lid, not this kind. There's no lid for this. This is just an open vase, but yeah, it's beautiful. And it does have their signatures on the bottom, so the date is on there for 1991, and I just thought that was really cool. And that was in a lot with a couple of other small vases for $3. So again, all of this stuff that I'm showing you right now, average cost to me 75 cents US. $20 to $25 for everything, be great. Last but not least, I told you about this last video. Oh, that's what it was. Not the same lot. It was in the same auction, but not in the same lot. The big vase here that I just showed you. And then I came away with a bunch of these. 78 RPM records. I have a box of about 30. There's 35 of them in there. One of them is not sellable. It's got cracks and it's split in a couple places. So I've got 35 78 RPM records. There's a few good ones. There's about 4 or 5 from Fats Waller, if anybody remembers that name. Even I remember that name. Not because I listened to the music, but I mean, I used to be in radio, and I listened to a lot of different music when I was in radio, and so I remember the name Fats Waller, and there's 4 or 5 from Fats Waller, and they sell in the $10 range, each of them. So I may lot them together and try and sell them all for $30 or $40, and I paid $4 for this entire box of 78 RPM records. But I wanted to show you this one in particular. On the RCA Victor label, here is Elvis Presley with Love Me Tender. This one and The Great Pretender by The Pretenders are probably 2 of the better ones that I found in the box. The other ones are fairly generic swing big band type ones, but this Elvis one, Love Me Tender, and the Pretenders version, original Pretenders version of The Great Pretender, these ones will both, this and the Pretenders will both sell for about $15 to $20 individually. The other ones I'm going to lot up, put some of the swing ones together, the jazz ones together, the Fats Waller ones together, sell them as a lot. So for my $4 Canadian investment, I'm pretty certain I'm going to get in the $100 to $150 return on that box of 78 RPMs. Shouldn't be a problem to get that kind of a return on the 78s. They sell. There's thousands and thousands. I think if I remember the numbers when I looked them up on eBay, sold items, I want to say 7,500 plus listed, but there's almost 1,500 to 2,000 sold in the past 90 days. That's still pretty good, 22% sell-through rate, 20 to 22% sell-through rate, which is not bad. I mean, there's lots out there to choose from, but if somebody searches Elvis 78 RPM records, there's one. And so we'll see how they do. But yeah, I took my time, went through them all, cross-referenced them all on eBay solds to see what was out there. But yeah, I took a shot, and hopefully that shot's going to pay off, and I think it will. By looking at the comps and looking at the ones that are in the box, I don't think I'm going to have any trouble at all making at least $100 profit on the 78 RPM lot. So I'm very happy with that purchase. And as I said, I'm just getting things that I think will sell after I research them. And it's a little out of my usual wheelhouse, but very, very happy that I picked them up. So we'll see how they do. And I will let you know how they do when they sell. Not if, when. So that's a look at some of the items that I just picked up this past week out of the boxes that I had picked up at my online auctions. I'm still going through stuff, still cleaning stuff. There's a few things that I've found that are very, very cute. I just listed one thing today. It was a novelty moonshine bottle. It was about 6 or 7 inches tall. Moonshine bottle. It was fire water on the side, and on the other side it said "Try our booze." But it was very, very cute, and just another little piece from that 10-item lot that I got for $4 or $5. And there's a couple other miniature little moonshine jugs. One of them is from Avon, so I'll maybe lot that together with all my other Avon bottles that I have from the cologne that I have still. Anyhow, I'm still going through things, and I'm still selling things here. And as long as the postal services are running, I think it's a good idea to keep doing this. If you can do it, if you're an American customer, American watcher, and you can get items picked up at your house by the U.S. Postal Service in order to ship them for you, then do it and keep selling. And there's all kinds of videos out right now on YouTube by the different YouTube stars and influencers about what to put on your eBay store right now. There are certain things that are really selling. Video games, video game systems, jigsaw puzzles, crafting things, that kind of stuff. If you've got any of that stuff to list it now, because people are looking for those kinds of things as they try to while away the hours and days and weeks and months at home right now. So, keep doing it as long as you can. I'm still doing it. I did a shipping run today to Toronto, and there was a lot of people dropping off stuff that was very obviously online sales at my shipping company. And there was a lineup. I had to wait 10 minutes before I could get at the loading dock to drop off my 6 items. So, it's people are still selling online, and we're still shipping to the United States. If you're a Canadian seller, find a Chit Chats or find a shipping company that will take your stuff over the border and ship it by the U.S. Postal Service. Chit Chats is in a lot of cities. If you're a Canadian seller, check it out. It is worth it. You do save money, so much money compared to Canada Post if it's going to the United States. I found that Chit Chats and Canada Post are about the same when it's inside Canada. But when you're shipping to the United States, instead of using Canada Post International Shipping, check out Chit Chats. If you're in a major center, just look them up. They may be closer than you think. I drive an hour each way, and it's still worth it for me, especially with the price of gas the way it is right now. It's still worth it for me to go to a shipping company to ship my stuff over the river as opposed to using Canada Post. So take that as you will. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to go. I have some more things to list tonight. I want to get out a few things. I'm just now going to list the perfume bottles. So that's going online tonight. If you want to follow along with that, that'll be up in the store. And in the meantime, I want all of you to stay safe, stay well, stay home when you can. I've still only left the house to do my shipping and to do groceries. That's it. And I hope you do too. Have yourself a great week, everybody. You may see me sooner than 1 week from now. I'm trying. I'm going to try and do a more regular video these days. And so hopefully we'll see you very, very soon right here on another episode of M Cubed. Cheers, everybody.